So Hare Krishna devotees, today's shloka for the day is the 7th shloka of the 8th chapter. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu
Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu
mamanusmara yudhya cha
mamanusmara yudhya cha
mayyarpitamano buddhihi
mayyarpitamano buddhihi
mame vaishyasya samshayaha.
mame vaishyasya samshayah.
Good forward meaning and translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tasmat,
Tasmat,
therefore, sarveshu,
sarveshu,
at all,
at all,
kaleshu,
kaleshu,
times,
times,
mam,
me,
anusmara,
anusmara,
go on remembering,
go on remembering,
yudhya,
yudhya,
fight,
fight,
cha, also,
mai,
unto me, arpita, surrendering, manaha, mind, buddhihi, intellect, mam, unto me, eva, surely, eshyasi, you will attain, asamshayaha, beyond a doubt. Translation. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time, carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me, and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Yeah. So here, the Lord is actually talking about how you can always think of Him, which means it's a very important verse here, very important instruction for anybody who wants to march down the path of spirituality, which is how do you always think of Krishna at all the time? Is it possible to be doing your work and simultaneously be thinking of Krishna? So in order to remember Krishna at the time of death, we have to practice remembering him throughout our life. So how do we do this? So the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada writes, is in the first line of this verse. Following it can make our life sublime. So this instruction to think about Krishna while we're working applies to people from all walks of life. It defines what is Karma Yoga. Some people think that material goals and spiritual goals cannot be pursued at the same time. Either you're pursuing a material life or you're pursuing a spiritual life. How can both be done simultaneously? That question is being answered by Krishna here. You can be a God-loving person, and you can also pursue your material objectives, which is your other prescribed duties and responsibilities. But Krishna says here, do your duty with your body. Let your mind think of me and become attached to me. The Lord never says in the shloka that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. As a matter of fact, one can continue working in whatever field that we're in, and at the same time think of Krishna. Prabhupada writes by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This mantra should always be on your lips. That's Krishna consciousness. The Mahabharat war, Arjuna did exactly that. And so the Lord declares at the end of the war that Arjuna has not accrued any bad karma, even though he has killed so many people on the battlefield. As per the law of karma, when someone performs their duties without any selfish attachment to the world, with their mind always in the Supreme Lord, such actions get multiplied by 0. Anything multiplied by 0 will always be 0. That means no sin accumulates for those who are always thinking of Krishna while they're performing their duties. Now, it doesn't mean it's a license for you to do whatever you want as you're chanting the holy names, because you know that it is an offense to commit sins on the strength of chanting the holy names of the Lord. So one should not deliberately, wantonly commit sins while you're chanting the holy names of the Lord, because that's an even worse condition than killing somebody. But this is actually the trick, is to think of Krishna and perform your duties and responsibilities. And therefore, whatever activities you're performing is multiplied by 0. So 0 means no papa, no punya either. That's where we want to be. We don't want to accumulate papa, and we certainly don't want to accumulate punya either. Because for both of that, we have to take birth again to be rewarded or face the repercussions or be punished. So in the 3rd chapter, Krishna said, come and work for me. So he's now moved from do your work and think of me to, in this shloka, think of me and do your work. So how do you do your work and think of Krishna? You do your work and you offer the results to Krishna. But here Krishna is saying, you think of me all the time while you're doing your work. In that case, what happens is you're not just offering the results to Krishna, you're offering yourself to Krishna. So we have progressed from, if you can't think of me all the time, at a minimum, do your work, and the results that you get, offer it to me. To now, Krishna is saying, if you really want to think of me all the time, then you have to think of me as you're doing your work. And this way, your mind, your intelligence, your senses, everything gets dovetailed with me. In essence, you're offering yourself to Krishna. So in Shloka 30 of chapter 3, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasya vigata jvaraha. There Krishna said, therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, with no claims to proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight. Krishna is saying, you do your work and offer your fruits to me, whatever fruits you get. So that means offering something to Krishna comes only after you finished your work. But here, you have to offer your mind to Krishna even before you begin your work. So here in Shloka 7, Krishna is saying, first you think of me, then you do your work. So you may ask, how do you start that? That is why morning sadhana becomes so important. You spend a good 2 hours meditating on Krishna. And then you begin your day. And throughout the day, you can be hearing Krishna Katha, you can be hearing Kirtan, you can be mentally chanting the holy names of the Lord. So if you do this, it is not an offering to the Lord after doing the work. It is now meditating on the Lord before we and during our work. That means anything and everything we do, we actually do it for Krishna. So whether it is a war, being a warrior, or a doctor, a teacher, a farmer, everything that we do it for the pleasure of Krishna by beginning our day with our sadhana. In this way, we are offering ourselves entirely to Sri Krishna, which means every duty that you perform becomes spiritual in nature. And therefore, there is no accumulation of papa or punya. So when the mind, the intelligence, and work, all three things mentioned in the shloka, are all offered to Krishna, then definitely you'll be developing love for him. So devotion, His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu says, has two broad components: connection and contribution. Connection, it's an internal connection with Krishna by remembering him all the time. And how do we contribute? Externally, Krishna says, carry on the mission by serving me. So internally, we have to meditate on Krishna. Externally, we have to do our service to Krishna. So this is connection, internally, contribution, externally, which means none of us get the opportunity to stop our work, stop our service. So whatever you are, lawyer, designer, housewife, whatever it is, you have to continue to do that as a service to Krishna. So the more we become connected to Krishna through our committed spiritual practices, the more we feel enriched with divine satisfaction and love. In the next verse, Krishna talks about the benefits of practicing Karma Yoga. So again, what is this shloka saying? Krishna is instructing Arjuna, always think of me. Think of me, meaning think of me, Krishna. And at the same time, which means don't be disconnected from Krishna when you're doing your prescribed duty of fighting. Like this, when your work itself is dedicated to please Krishna, then even your mind and your intelligence becomes fixed on Krishna. And you can attain me without doubt. You will attain me without doubt. Asamshayaha. Right. We talked about the difference yesterday between the two words, asamshayaha and prashna. Prashna is a question. Samshayaha is a doubt. So Krishna is repeatedly saying, don't have doubts. If you do this, you'll come back to me. Don't have doubts. If you think of me all the time, you will attain my nature. So don't have doubts. So the opposite of doubt is having faith in Krishna. Having faith in Krishna's words as well. So that's the essence of today's shloka, which is a practical instruction for us on how to think of Krishna before we work and while we work. In this way, we offer our entire self for the pleasure of Krishna.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.